slurring, bro. I'm speaking Spanish. It's not going well.
That's perfect.
I'm down, bro. I'm ready. We found it.
I have a plate of shrimp scampi for no reason.
Yo, welcome to episode 129 of the Joystick Show, a little podcast that I host with my best friends, Dylan Diaz,
hello,
Joseph Ortega, and Jerry De Jesus.
Hello.
I'm Robert Rosario, and we're here to feed your ears.
No bullshit.
I wanted to start off this podcast how I start off every other podcast.
Yes.
By telling you guys to support the boys. It'd be helpful if you could like this episode of the Joystick Show. It'd be helpful if you could subscribe to Team Joystick, because that is who we are, and that's who presents you with this content on a weekly basis.
Correct.
I also wanted to start this on a bit of a bittersweet note. Bittersweet for me.
All right.
Upon review of some older episodes of the Joystick Show, I was trying to find shots of the show that I really liked, because I noticed some of the light ratios were off. So I just wanted to say, if this looks like a bit of a darker episode, it's because I'm going for that. But I also found out that in episode 127 of the Joystick Show, titled Eat, Play, Love, I wore the same outfit that I did in episode 118.
The three of us are like so happy.
I was expecting that
about 2 months prior.
No, that's actually a fucking disaster.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I re-wore the same brown plaid sweater, which I thought was a backup sweater, but it's broken. You know.
Yeah.
The cycle has been ended. Unfortunately, it was a good one. It was a good 127 episode streak.
Nice run.
But
that's a good run.
And for what it's worth, I have not worn this before, but you know, from now here on out, it's gonna be nice. It's like a weight's been lifted off.
Yeah.
Like I could just focus on the fucking jokes.
the show. There's been like a 3-month lull and shit, because Bobby's just been before the show like, no,
He's just ordering shit.
Mom,
Like,
Mom, do you have any shirts
for this week?
I need the different shirt.
Without the hindrance of the outfit joke, I could finally ascend us to being a successful YouTube channel.
Yeah, word.
This episode gets 3,000 views for no fucking reason.
No reason.
Like, man, that's a nice shirt Bobby's wearing.
Yeah,
That's what I wore. But the shtick has ended, and I'm not gonna lie, it feels good. But
Nice.
to segue this perfectly, I brought this shirt out of retirement because I was in the need of packing some summer wear.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Correct.
Because me and somebody else at this table,
Correct.
my co-host, my partner in crime, Delano, is going on a special trip with me. Where are we going, Dylan?
We're going to the Dominican Republic,
The
Going to
homeland.
Jerry's motherland, baby.
the Deutschland of Jerry.
We will be in Punta Canna celebrating my mom's 60th birthday.
Correct.
Which really means Dylan and I will be getting drunk on a daily basis.
I will be getting to the point of almost dying every day.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Being filled with alcohol
Sounds
and
good.
many food items as
But
well.
I just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk that, because, you know, I'm definitely excited. Things we should do out there. Some content we might be making out there.
I've never been out of the country, so.
Oh shit!
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I mean,
First time?
Yep. I've never. I literally got my passport for this trip. I didn't have my
You've been
passport.
to Puerto
Yeah.
Rico.
Puerto
but,
Rico is
you know,
America.
It's America.
You look at the
right?
street signs, you're like, this looks like
Yeah.
a highway. You know.
This is the first time Dylan's leaving the country. That's
Yep.
exciting.
That's
buddy.
exciting,
That is
and you get
exciting.
to share that with him.
Well, what could I tell you? Honestly speaking, we're gonna be in a resort, so it's gonna be pretty
Right.
like it's gonna be high.
I'm not gonna
end
be
or something
doing
like
no
that.
fucking eating at carts and shit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm gonna be.
What I will say is pretty
vibing.
interesting. It's going to be the first time you probably experience this. Is when the plane lands. It's not like a typical airport. You literally get off like on the tarmac and
Yeah.
you walk to the open air airport, which is kind of.
I believe that. I believe that.
You walk outside. The heat
I've had
just
to
hits
do
you.
that before, but I think it was just because the airport was having fucking issues and we had to like do a
Gotcha,
side
gotcha,
thing.
Yeah.
But I've
You just
never.
went to a shitty airport.
Yeah. LaGuardia.
But yeah, you know, I'm excited. I'm definitely ready to excurge. I don't know.
Oh,
if
I have
that's
a
the
whole
verb, but-
fucking like not
You
itinerary,
should
but like
snorkel and film it.
Does Marianti have an interior?
there's a
itinerary?
whole fucking plan, bro. We're gonna.
What are some things that she wants to do just out of curiosity?
Oh well, we're just gonna do everything.
yeah.
So you're definitely doing that. You're doing bowling with us. We're doing
Gotcha.
golf in some way. They have like a driving and putting range.
I looked it up. The prices. I actually want to do like 9 holes.
Yeah.
It's like $70. It's
Mhm.
not bad. You get everything, the rental and everything.
Uh-huh.
I want to play golf. All right, just
Yeah,
say,
I'll
do
go
it.
at my
I'll do it.
house.
Yeah, but like it's expensive.
That's true.
It's DR golf.
Yeah, this is
Word.
cheap golf. This is cheap everything for the
Yeah.
most part.
Sunny.
Dude, Bob, you have
Freaking-
premium, right?
The hotel status
Yeah.
thing. I don't remember.
Okay,
why.
because if you have premium, because I believe like the room service is like free. I think.
Yeah.
If you're premium. So if that's the case, we're getting room service at like 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's the vibe. That's what
Yeah,
we do.
yeah.
Yeah. Last time we went to DR for my cousin's wedding when I was like 19,
Uh-huh.
my parents and I, we just like come back to the room drunk as shit. And my mom would be like, let's just order 2 pizzas.
Uh-huh.
And they just bring 2 pizzas at 2 in the morning. It's fire.
Lit.
So whatever you want, fries, burger, soda, boom.
Hell yeah.
Just want
Got the pool tables.
to fuck it. Oh yeah,
Yo,
six
yeah.
pool tables. You already know who's gonna be there.
24-hour sports bar, connected.
I asked my dad. I was like, "We're gonna watch a Nets game at the sports bar." He's like, "You fucking know we are."
Yeah.
I was like, "Let's go." He's bringing his jersey.
It's like
But he's mad because he's like, "Why did I have to get a Harden and a Durant jersey?" And I was
Right.
like, you know,
you don't buy the stars.
that's why I'll bring my Joey Buckets jersey. And I'm bringing some equipment,
Oh,
bringing some
shit.
cameras, bringing some microphones.
Maybe we'll film out there, or maybe I'll just bring all my equipment for no reason.
For no reason.
Yeah.
No, we're definitely doing Joystick show at the very least. We did one in PR. We're gonna be coming to you not so live from DR.
But I mean, we'll find a spot. You know what I mean? We'll find probably a really nice spot.
Oh, yeah.
I say that I'm in the junior suite, which has a jacuzzi on the balcony. So I feel like we just do it in that.
In the jacuzzi?
In the jacuzzi, because it's like the overhang with the.
I tell
in
you
the
what
back.
we'll do. We'll stick Marianti with my mom and my aunts for like 2
Oh,
hours.
oh, yeah, yeah.
They'll go to the spa.
They'll have a
They'll do
blast,
freestyle, and then you will
massage.
do work. Like, that's
Yeah.
what we'll do. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Quote unquote work. A Joystick show from a fucking hot tub.
A drunk. I'm slurring, bro. I'm speaking Spanish. It's not going well.
That's
Perfect. I'm down, bro. I'm ready. We found it.
I have a-
podcast.
I have a plate. I have a plate of shrimp scampi for no reason.
Stay tuned, baby. No, I'm excited. I'm bringing a frisbee. Try to get a little league
man.
going on the beach.
Oh, there's like courts for shit. There's like a basketball court, I think. There's like a tennis court.
Playing a little one-on-one.
Yeah, I
See,
feel
the
like
plan was I was just gonna bring the camera and we were gonna film like a whole week-long chronicles, you know. And
we
just,
could, yeah.
just edit that into, you know. And then I got to get some sick shots of what you two will be doing over here while we're over there.
Oh god, I feel like
podcast as usual.
can we do an? It'd be hard to do an edit, but like it's like a photo of me and you like on the beach, or like a video of me and you on the beach, and then it cuts to like a green screen of them two like on the beach, and then they get up and it's like just New York. They're like, the fuck, we gotta go. I gotta go work, man.
the green screen beach.
Oh my god.
Like they're here with us. Yeah,
It's
like
like
they're
a green light on.
yeah. It's like they're here with us.
They're here. Look, they're right there on the beach. Oh man.
Add in some stock ocean sounds. I mean,
you fucking know.
they're with us.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. Stay tuned for the DR content, and stay tuned for you and me for a sick vacation.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
hyped. I'm hyped.
Mm-hmm.
Can I swing it on to something else?
Correct.
So I thought this was funny because I wanted to talk about one thing on the podcast, but then I was like, oh, that reminds me of something else I want to
One
talk
thing.
about. And then I was like, wait, that reminds me of something else I want to talk about.
Oh, so talk
And
about
I
all
was
three
like, wait,
things.
that reminds me of something else that I want
Four
to talk
things.
about. So it turned into four
Whoa.
things that I wanted to talk about that are all essentially the exact same thing.
The chain.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about like Nickelodeon reboots, more specifically the Nick live action reboots.
Yeah, they're all coming back. Yeah.
So, interestingly enough, I started watching the iCarly reboot. So I saw season 1 when that first came out,
Uh-huh.
but I never saw season 2. And then I eventually got back into it, and it was pretty good. It's really funny.
Uh-huh.
And what I appreciated about the season 2 is like apparently in that season, that's when they, well, not apparently, but that's when they started taking effort into like what the show iCarly in the show is about. Because that was my one big criticism, was I was like, they really just turned iCarly into an adult sitcom. Which
Yeah,
is cool.
like everyone's doing stuff.
Yeah,
and no
but it
one's
kind
a-
of like they lost the whole thing, like why it's called iCarly in the first place. So she has a web show that they're really famous for and all that. So in the second season, they kind of more fine tune that and turn it more into what like her vision for the show should be as an adult, which I thought was cool. And then in thinking about that, I just started thinking about all the potential for like Nickelodeon reboots, and I stumbled upon a Kickstarter for a Euphoria-esque television show that's called PCA. Which is
Pacific Coast Academy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like an adult, edgy take on what it's like to go to high school, the Pacific Coast Academy. And they have like a demo reel. And I'm not trying to be that guy, but it doesn't look that entirely great. It looks more like conceptual than anything really like narrative based. It's like, you know, when somebody has a really good idea, but that's
There's
it.
nothing to it.
Exactly. It's just the idea. So I thought that was interesting. And then like a day later, Dylan was like, oh, they're making a Zoe 101 reboot. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And they are.
It's called Zoe 102,
Zoe
and it's a
102.
wedding or something, like a reunion
Why
thing.
is it a 102?
There's not. Oh, well,
I think
mean,
this is the sequel name. I
because
don't
it's
know.
like, you know, like 102 would be the next class. Like after you finish 101, you go to
Yeah,
102.
but they're beyond school learning age unless
What?
they go to graduate.
It's the
or
fucking
college.
sequel, Joe. It's the name.
Hey.
God, that's like when we went to. We'll get into that in a second. Hold on. I'm gonna,
Bobby's getting a little heated about the Dan Schneider
no.
shows.
But yeah, they're making Zoe 102. There's not much that's known about it other than apparently the gang reunites for a wedding. Apparently they're shooting in North Carolina, which is interesting considering a big part of Zoe 101 was like the Pacific
Cali.
Coast, you know, like
Yeah.
being on Cali beaches and all that stuff. And people are speculating that it's a movie. People are speculating that it might actually take on right from the short that Dan Schneider made of Chase and Michael when they grow up. And
I've
Michael
seen the short.
gets the DVD of what Zoe said about Chase in that episode where she puts it in the time capsule.
Yup.
And she like admits that she thought Chase was her soulmate.
Legendary.
So people are speculating that Chase would have a relationship with somebody else that he puts like he finds Zoe to see if she has still feelings for him or whatever. So that was the second Nick reboot that I wanted to talk about, and then that led me into the Ned's Declassified podcast.
Wait, before you start, do you think that all of these are just happening because iCarly's was like successful?
Absolutely.
Oh,
if iCarly was,
1000%.
like non-successful, these are
Probably.
all like drained.
If I'm being completely honest,
I feel like everyone was kind of because like if you think about it, a lot of the actors and stuff weren't doing
Yeah.
like amazing things, so it kind of makes sense that there
we
would
can get
be
these people
an
and
attempt.
not
like
pay
they-
them crazy.
I feel like they wanted to do Drake and Josh. And
that was my theory. My theory was that they originally wanted to do it earlier with Drake and Josh, but it was obviously way too controversial.
Yeah.
And they ended up doing it with iCarly, which still worked just the same. If
It
anything,
still
if we're
worked.
being honest, like I think Drake and Josh is definitely more nostalgic for us, considering not only we were kind of like still kids in the time that show was coming up, like we were already more like in high school when iCarly was finishing. And not only that, like let's be honest, Drake and Josh was geared a little towards more boys, so it was easier for us to get more into it, right?
Also the best one.
Yeah, but that being
the-
said,
like-
iCarly really
Even-
is.
iCarly's great. but-
like if I hate, I'm not even saying this biased. I think iCarly is the #1 Schneider show. Like that, the show ran nonstop for 7 years.
it did.
I never watched
It
it.
never stopped.
Drake and Josh was like 3.5 seasons.
Yeah, it was like 3.5 seasons, but iCarly never. They made movies. It had multiple celebrity guest cameos
Yeah,
on
that's a
it.
good point.
So iCarly was like the Jimmy Fallon was literally the star of a whole movie that they did.
Yeah.
So like if you think about it, like iCarly really is like the
the
golden
successful.
standard.
It's the successful.
And then Drake
one.
and Josh is kind of the one that we'll all agree is like better, but
That-
just
that-
didn't
that's
have
like the
same
cult
amount of
classic.
potential. Yeah, you know,
But
what I
Drake
mean?
and Josh is like the
you know
OG.
What low key is my favorite one? Amanda Show.
Amanda Show,
That's the
legendary.
OG.
Amanda's show was funny. And it was
They
that's
they
like a
would have done it with
sketch.
that, but that's the worst.
But that's
case.
why I don't. What
It's a-
Dylan's about to
It's
say.
a sketch comedy. It is not a sitcom.
It's not
That's
a
what I would
narrative
say.
sitcom.
It's
So
a
that's
sketch
why I
comedy
don't
show,
really
yeah.
like.
Same with
equate
all
it.
that. All that's incredible.
But if we did equate it, Amanda Show would be top 3 in my opinion because that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
hilarious, right? And then the Ned's Declassified podcast.
I love that.
Did-
Right.
You saw it?
I watched it.
It was really good. Very introspective. Learned a lot of cool stuff about it. Found out that Carlos Pena was actually auditioning for the role of Ned.
Mhm.
So it's actually like an interesting thing where like they technically picked Devin Werkheiser and the rest of them to play, Ned, Cookie, and Mose. But then after the show got greenlit, they all got a call from their agencies that were like, hey, the show got greenlit, but you guys have to go for another round of auditions and you might not actually play the characters. And this is after the pilot was filmed. So they were all like, we had already been on set together and worked, so it felt like it finally got made, but now it's like you might not be in it. So then when that happened, like they had to go through a whole round of auditions, and apparently Carlos Pena from Big Time Rush wanted to steal it, and he was coming in to audition for Ned, and he was like super overconfident and stuff like that. Apparently in the original pilot of the show, JoJo, the singer, was Lisa Zemo. So that was interesting too. But they just talked about, they just like, and it was honestly one of my favorite things about it was, unfortunately now you look back on a lot of those old live action Nick shows and they're just like rooted in controversy and stuff. It was really cool to see like a group of child actors turned adults who have nothing but positive things to say about their experience on the show.
My girlfriend said the same exact thing. I watched it and then we were talking. I talked to her about it and she said that's really wholesome that out of all the controversial things that came from these Nick shows, this is the one that they're still homey with each other.
Yeah.
They still like, whatchamacallit, the Ned's Declassified cast are still like really good friends, and they have a podcast now. Like I thought that was really cool. First
And
episode came out and I watched.
The other thing I was gonna say is like another thing that we've said it here on the podcast, but it's just like a thing that any fan of Ned's or like people who grew up with the show kind of understand or will comment on is how inclusive the show was back in the day. How there were black characters, Hispanic characters.
Oh, true.
Not even in the kids factor, like the adult characters were so, they were so diverse.
Mm-hmm.
And they were even talking about the episode where Ned and Cookie get put together in home ec and they have to raise the fake baby together. And like home ec is taught by a gay teacher and even says like he calls them the alternative couple. And they're literally like, this was the early 2000s and that was literally in a show. Like,
and that was okay. Like
Yeah.
no one said anything.
Yeah, because it was done in a super like normal way. Like it was chill. It wasn't shoved down a throat. But yeah, the show's fucking awesome, and now it has me wanting to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, it doesn't hold the same like comedic value, I would say.
I think it does. Because it's funny.
Yeah, but it's not like relatable anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not relatable, but I do think
it still holds up in the way of like how it's framed and how the characters develop throughout the show. I just don't think that it's like the jokes don't really hit as well when it's like I'm not going through that as well.
I guess.
As a stoner, I think they hit harder now. Because that show is just rooted in ridiculous.
Oh, I mean, all the
humor,
teachers
so-
are like really like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everyone's like eccentric as fuck.
There's
Not even that, the jokes-
backpack kid. This
Yeah,
kid with a big
There's
ass
like weird recurring jokes and shit. Like that show's hilarious.
Yeah, it's
There's
funny.
a kid called Toot Toot that just has like deadly farts.
Deadly farts. Yeah.
And they're like, it's Toot Toot, and he's just like Toot Toot.
There's a character whose name is literally Coconut Head,
Yeah.
just
My
because he
dad
has
loves
a bowl
him.
cut.
My dad would watch occasionally, like sit down next to me and watch what I'm watching, and he remembers Coconut Head. He said that character was hilarious.
And it's just like, and it's like he was like top 5 character, and he just didn't do anything. He was just there.
He's just nervous all the
Yeah.
time.
The bully, nervous and bullied. That's it.
It was just him screaming.
And then the last Nick reboot shout out thing I wanted to throw out was when he mentioned the Carlos Pena thing. I was like, remember when we like rediscovered Big Time Rush? Like jokingly that night we were like, wonder what Big Time Rush is up to, huh? And then we found out that they're still touring, making music. They're all like 10 out of 10 hot looking dudes.
Can I just
like,
say
what the
that
fuck?
I have several people I know, like friends of mine,
Yeah.
who went to see Big Time Rush live.
No, yeah, they're doing
So like
big
that's how I
things.
knew they were still around doing well, because I went on my story and I'm like, it's a Big Time.
Yeah,
I did like a double take. I was like, Big Time Rush.
And you always feel like when
When they
there's like
sing
a,
their like the show songs, like the theme song,
like a
and everyone-
mixture, yeah.
I
like
was
old
about to
stuff.
say.
Well, I mean, they have like new albums and stuff. They like
Yeah,
do well.
But I also thought it was like funny because like whenever like groups like that grow up, there's always like at least one guy that gets like out of shape or whatever. They're all like mad good looking. Like
They said no, we got to stick with this.
yeah, I was like fucking.
This
good
is our
shit,
job
man.
now. We cannot gain weight. We
you gotta make
cannot-
it big time.
Good.
Yeah. Shows, man. TV shows.
Where the fuck is True Jackson VP when we need it? You
Right.
know?
Oh, True Jackson.
No.
Kiki Palmer's doing
Great
cool
groups.
things. Though.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
fine.
she's
She's
cool.
successful.
She was
yeah.
in Nope. That was dope.
She also hosts a lot of stuff.
Gave
now
me
on
hope.
TV.
Word.
I mean, I have more stuff to
She's like
talk about.
media
I mean,
personality. She
I have.
had a kid.
I wanted to segue it from where you're about your clothes. I purposefully chose to wear this too, but not for like not to stick with the same color scheme. But I've been playing a shit ton of that Hogwarts game. I'm 2 hours into it, and I think it's a really fun fucking game. I think it's really fun, and despite all the controversy that we've mentioned 2 podcasts ago, I think it's a well-deserving 9 out of 10. I'm just having a lot of fun. I think it's super big exploration. Wearing my house colors, that's why I brought up the clothes. My glasses are back. I think
Great.
next podcast I'm gonna develop like a British accent and have a scar.
Please do.
It's gonna like
I don't know how well this is gonna go.
You kind of look like Harry Potter's dad right now, low key.
Uncle
James Potter or something.
Yeah.
He was a dick.
Jimmy
I
Potter.
don't- I don't really know.
Jimmy Potter.
I just know he has glasses.
Jimmy
and,
Potter.
I just know he has glasses and a goatee. So
He doesn't have a goatee.
does he not?
I don't know. He doesn't.
Can we look up his Can we look it up?
James Potter.
I thought his parents were like. Do they talk?
No,
his parents. No, they died.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, no, because I thought it was like a Charlie Brown
No,
situation.
there
you
is
know,
a
And they're just like,
flashback
wah,
scene.
wah.
Yeah,
He looks
they-
like him a little bit.
There's a
Joey.
Yo, it's
Me and Joey mixed.
That's our child.
Yeah.
Dylan.
Maybe I'm thinking of like adult.
The
Harry
young one?
Potter. What's the name of Harry Potter's kid in the show?
Jerry Potter.
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 Pitter patter.
Fucking.
Coconut Head.
Coconut.
Albus Potter.
Oh, Dumbledore.
Albus
yeah.
Dumbledore.
Albus Potter. here.
Albus?
Is there like an adult? Where am I getting this from? Is this the show?
Are you thinking of Newt?
He just looks like a regular British guy.
Are you thinking of like
what are we
Newt?
doing?
All right. Anyway,
Harry
Fucking
Potter?
Albert.
Harry Potter's dad over here.
But
Mozart Potter.
Yeah, but my parents, like, whenever they come by and they see me playing the game, my mom's like, this game's beautiful, which is very rare. My mom stops like doing something and to like look at it for a bit. She's like, this game is beautiful. And I'm like, it's really good. Like, it's like really well done. It like was cooked in the oven for a while. And she was like, you know, there's a Harry Potter store. Like, we should go to it. Like, I want to go to it. Let's go to it as a family. So, like, in my house right now, there's like Harry Potter fever. Like, things are slowly, I'm like, okay. She's like, I want to go to the Harry Potter store and I want to get.
Joey's gonna regret this in like 10 days. Joey's gonna come here and be like, I fucking hate Harry Potter.
I hate
They don't
it.
fucking
Hogwarts
trust my
Legacy
fucking-
gets a 3 out of 10. J.K. Rowling.
I hope
transphobic.
Hogwarts explodes.
Fucking just blows up. Now my mom wants to get. She saw my aunt have like a sugar cup for coffee, but it was a cauldron, and she wants it. She was like, I want that.
Does your mom know what house she's in?
She actually does, only because me and Tatiana made her take the test.
Got it.
But she remembers. She remembers like exact. She knows it's the snake one.
Yeah.
Does Tati play Hogwarts?
Oh yeah. Your mom's a Slytherin for
My
sure.
mother's a Slytherin. My father's
Believable.
a Hufflepuff. My sister's a Hufflepuff, and I'm a Slytherin.
Believable.
Does Tati play Hogwarts?
She has it. She played it. But she's been so busy as of late that she says, I love it, though. She has a lot of fun with it.
No, I'm definitely gonna get it. I'm just waiting until after DR when I have the time.
No, there's a lot of collectible things. I understand what you do because, like, if you were to leave and have all those things not collected yet, you'd be like, ah.
You know it.
I'm looking at videos. So
I know that's not. Maybe we're just different people. There's no way I'm in Dominican Republic. Like, man, that
I
fucking
gotta
wand,
collect all the feathers.
that fucking wand. I need it, man. I need it.
No, you
I'm
gotta,
fucking base desires, man.
this is awesome. But I still have 89 of the 90 feathers that I need to collect.
Oh man.
Strap in, because I'm about to defend a Marvel film.
Oh,
What?
shit.
Ooh.
Jerry and I saw a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We saw Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is going to be a spoiler-heavy review.
Okay.
So spoiler alert, I will be spoiling a lot about the movie because that is about the only way that I can defend this film. Okay? As we're speaking right now, I'll even look it up just to get the official score, right?
All right.
Ant-Man Quantumania is sitting at what on Rotten Tomatoes? Sitting at a 47%.
Wow. I didn't know it was that low.
But look at the audience score.
Yeah.
Okay.
The score is more.
84%.
Like,
right?
yeah.
First thing I want to point
Reasonable.
out, right? As always, in every situation with the film, the critic score came out before the movie came out because the critics got to see it first and give their opinions on it.
Yes.
So that being said, everybody, myself included, Jerry, Jarenson, in the chat, we were all like, oh, Ant-Man doesn't look like it's going to be good. Everybody's saying this, that, the third. They tried too hard, blah, blah, blah. Jerry and I went to go see it. I think I could speak for both of us.
Yeah.
When we both walked out and we were both like, we enjoyed that way more than we thought we were going to. Okay? First off, one of the bigger criticisms that the movie got was that it was like doing too much. Like they were trying to go to like end game centric with stuff. They definitely were, but I kind of liked it. It kind of ended up being like this epic war fucking film where it was like the whole quantum realm versus Kang and his whole. Like,
I mean, you gotta add. I mean, I feel like they just did that to add stakes. I mean,
yeah, but it's less about the stakes and more about the scale of it all. Because the scale was what made it epic, and that's what made it like actually really fucking sick. Yeah. Another thing that I saw where people said that since they tried to get all epic and big with it, that it lost a lot of like the Ant-Man humor and charm. I disagree. I laughed heavily throughout that movie. There were some pretty fucking funny parts.
Yeah, the wholesome stuff for, Ant-Man and his like kid.
Yeah, definitely.
And there was like another Wasp and her dad.
And the
and her
Hank
mom-
Pym
and the
and
mom.
Janet Van Dyne for
Yeah,
sure.
there's a whole bunch of wholesome stuff.
Another thing I heard was the CGI, which I did want to take a second to talk about. The CGI, there were definitely scenes that I saw that had issues. Like there'd be scenes where Michelle Pfeiffer's character Janet Van Dyne would like pet a fake CGI animal, and you could see like her fingers like going through the pixels and stuff like that.
okay.
And again, these are probably things that maybe I noticed because I had kind of trained to see these things. Maybe the average audience goer doesn't really catch it. But a lot of people had problems with MODOK's representation in the movie because MODOK is in the movie.
Yeah.
He's the short guy, right?
MODOK is the big-headed guy in a chair.
Yeah,
with
they showed a
tiny arms
sneak
and
peek
legs.
of him in the trailer, and I was like, oh, shit.
And I'll show you what he looks like in the movie, right? This is what MODOK looks like.
This is the worst part about the movie, honestly.
MODOK was the worst part of the movie?
His face, like how silly he looks. But they make a joke out of it. Like, it's supposed to be kind of silly.
So
you know?
that's... But
With
he has
the
a
mask on, he looks cool. You're
He
like,
has a
oh, he
mask.
looks kind of cool.
Oh.
But without the mask, he just kind of looks like Joe.
Yeah, he's
Rogan.
supposed to look like he has like an ugly face, kind of, you know?
That's what he looks like without the mask.
And he looks like that in the movie.
Silly. That's silly.
So I thought about it.
I can't even. Looks like AI generated. I can't even
Bro,
think of it,
there's
bro.
legit
It looks like a Snapchat.
Have you guys seen the
filter.
Pharaoh
Oh,
meme?
look, this is it. This is the shot where he looks exactly like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe
There's a
Rogan.
scene where, like, spoiler alert, he dies, and like when he's like dead on the floor with his eyes closed, he just looks like Joe Rogan, like on the floor. Yeah. But fucking real quick, I just wanted to point out that I agree with the fact that the face thing looks really weird, considering MODOK is actually supposed to look closer to this. You know, he's a very sinister, like warped face, right? On further review of the movie, yes, it looks silly, but I have to agree because it makes sense. Number one, MODOK is actually in the lore of the MCU. He's the bad guy from the first Ant-Man movie. So he's not actually who MODOK is in the comic books. This is like a new thing for the MCU.
Oh, okay.
And the way that they represent it is when Darren, a.k.a. Yellow Jacket from the first Ant-Man movie, got shrunk by Ant-Man at the end of the movie. He got shrunk disproportionately so that his body shrunk, but his head stood big.
Oh, wow.
And then when Kang found him in the quantum realm, he built him his mechanized suit and turned him into MODOK, a.k.a. mechanized organism designed only for killing, right?
So you give him midget superpowers.
So
A little
pretty
person,
much.
you
In the
So
comic
he
books,
had
him
a
up.
big ass head.
yeah, in the
He was
comic
just
books,
like-
it's a guy who does experiments on him and actually increases the size of his brain so much that like it distorts him.
He's
But
big
in
brain.
this case, they did a different thing. So
Thousand
that's why
IQ.
with the face,
That's
I
kinda
get it.
cool.
I get the face thing, but I also get the fact that it looks cheesy and silly
Right.
because it does.
Bro, Mr. Electric looks cool.
But if I'm being honest, the thing that saves it is the mask.
the mask is
Because there were
cool.
legit scenes where like MODOK would come out of nowhere and it would like not scare me, but I'd be like, oh shit, that's actually kind of crazy. Because he looks terrifying. It's just that weird opposite that as soon as the mask comes off, it's Joe Rogan. And you're
I like how the third one, he kind of looks like a thwomp or womp. Yeah.
But yeah, so I could see the CGI thing, but in terms of the MODOK stuff, now that I've had time to analyze it, think about it, it makes sense for it, but I can also see how goofy it is. I don't think it's worse than
goofy.
the floating head from Thor: Love and Thunder, this guy's son, fucking Idris Elba's son, but
Yeah,
regardless.
Honestly,
Elba.
So we found out about this score before we went to watch the movie, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I was watching it, and I'm like, all right, like I'm not expecting much. I'm just gonna have fun, you know. I'm eating popcorn, watching a movie.
Uh-huh.
And then during the movie, I'm watching this guy's performance, and I'm like, how is that so low?
Jonathan
He was
Majors,
great,
right?
yeah.
So the two things that people said like really, really saved the movie. Even though I'll say like I don't think Paul Rudd was any better, but I also don't think he's any worse. Like, I
Right.
just think
Let's be honest. Anything with Paul Rudd is like an instant 55.
Yeah,
he's
right.
a good-looking dude. He's mad likable, mad sympathetic. Like how could like, he's
But-
Paul Rudd?
But but Jonathan Majors' performance and also Michelle Pfeiffer's performance as Janet Van Dyne were the two like
Yeah.
selling points of the film.
Honestly,
but,
I want to rewatch it just because of
but
that.
I think it's fair to say that Kang is going to be a really, really good villain
Yeah.
in the MCU because the fact that he's not a 7-foot purple alien from space with an Infinity Gauntlet, he already feels that much scarier than
Right.
Thanos.
Really, wow.
And all he has is a fancy suit from like the 4000s. So like, you know, guy is a threat. Not only that, Jonathan Majors is a great actor.
I
so
heard he
really-
carried the movie from a critic that I read.
That I could agree. He definitely does. There's also some stuff, I mean, just to like nitpick, like towards the end of the movie, I told Joey earlier, there's like a weird thing where like there's this whole epic war film, and then at the end, Hank Pym unleashes like thousands of like robotic ants or like super smart ants, and then Kang just gets like taken away by the ants, and you're led to believe that that's the end of the movie, and you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
And you're like, let's go home. But then at the very end, right, as everybody goes through like the portal home, as Ant-Man, Paul Rudd
one
is going
more
to go
fight.
through.
Mm-hmm.
Kang stops him, and they have that one more fight. And I was like, that saved it for me because I was like, if that ended like that,
If that
garbage.
ended, if Death by Ants was the end of the movie, that would have been so
Garbage,
shitty. Yeah. I mean,
But,
it's called Ant-Man.
Death
but
by Ants.
Right.
And then the last thing I wanted to share was I actually wanted to spoil the 2 post-credit scenes.
Yeah, he spoiled one of them for me.
I spoiled the second one for Joy, so I'll start with
Okay.
the first one. The first one actually is cool because it unveils the Council of Kangs, which is super dope. So it's led to believe that Kang dies, quote unquote, at the end of Quantumania, even though it's not really shown like that. It's hard to explain, but he's just kind of like shrunken again. But who knows where he is, right? Maybe he's plotting something else. But the first post-credit scene is the Council of Kangs actually meeting together to discuss what they're gonna do now that supposedly this Kang is gone.
Like, oh, he's dead.
But it's cool because they show like literally all the hundreds, thousands of Kangs that are there. Some are like pharaohs from Egypt. Some are like war generals. Some are just like aliens. Some are fucking crazy. But it's dope because it reminds me of like the Council of Rick stuff that it's based off of, or rather the opposite that the Council of Rick is based off of. But it's cool to see it in like a now on film and like an actual real.
That's
like,
kind of cool.
You know what Loki reminds me of? You remember when Plankton gets all his cousins?
Yeah.
Hey, Ray.
And
No, but like the ones he's imagining where he's like super villains and like,
The eyeglass. Oh my god.
And then the second post-credit scene, which I told Joey, which is arguably cooler, is a scene of Kang in a different timeline who's on a stage in like the 1800s, and he looks a little like Frederick Douglass, like he has like the big hair and all that, and he's showing off like I think an invention or something to a crowd of people in a theater. So it's like a really, really old time, but then it cuts to Loki and Mobius, Owen Wilson's character, in the crowd. So it's like season 2 of Loki, and they found Kang in a different like universe per se, or a different timeline. So it's kind of cool.
Interesting.
I like that because it's been a while since the MCU directly shows you like their next project. It always like leads you into it. But there's been a couple times where they show you like a scene from the thing, and you're like, oh shit, it's finished.
Yeah.
So I like that. But if I had to be honest, I'll give Ant-Man a solid 7 out of 10. I really don't think it's any worse than that. I don't think it's worse than Eternals. I don't think it's in that vein.
Love and Thunder?
I think this is better than Love and Thunder. I thought this movie was genuinely better than Love and Thunder and Multiverse of Madness. I would say this first, then Multiverse, then Love and Thunder for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that as well.
I gotta watch it. It'll be the first Ant-Man movie I've ever seen.
And the last thing I wanted to say is, considering Ant-Man's been around since like 2012, or I don't remember the exact year, but it's been around for a while, and the quantum realm has been a thing that's been in the movies for so long. It was really sick to actually like be in it, like have a movie that's immersed in this universe that's been toyed around with for so long, because they did really cool stuff with it.
In their movies, the Ant-Man movies. Okay.
I mean, even more so, like, you know, they mention it in the first Ant-Man movie. That's where he gets trapped at the end of the second one. It's a big plot point in Endgame where they find out that that's where he's been the whole time. So the quantum realm's like a huge thing. They just never fully
This is where they
didn't explore it.
Yeah.
So they built the world. This is where they finally explore it.
And
that's
right,
kind of cool.
It felt like Avatar, right? With all the flying aliens and the vast worlds and all this shit. So they really did like cool stuff. It's not just like a microscopic world. There's like, I don't want to get crazy with it, but there's like forest lands and
Did you see
deserts
Multiverse
and
of Madness?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I think this one was better, like multiverse.
Yeah. But yeah, that's me defending Ant-Man. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you go check it out, and don't just go by what the critics say.
None of that,
because that would be stupid.
None of that sounds bad. Like, I don't know who watches that and is like, yeah, 2 out of 10. Like, none of that sounds bad. All that sounds cool.
I think it's just the thing with superhero movies now. Like, they don't want to give them the respect, which is fine. I get it, but like at the end of the day, I think people need to understand that superhero movies isn't the genre. Like, superhero movies can still be dramatic. They can still be comedic. They can still be horror.
It can be its own thing.
That's why I'm picky with superhero movies, because I understand
and that's understandable.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, there's some superhero movies I watch, like I forget which one I watched, but it was like Batman, Superman, or whatever back in the day with Ben Affleck, and I was like, I watched it and I was like, this is the worst movie I've ever fucking seen.
Right. It just has superheroes in it.
Yeah, but if it's like Black Panther or anything that Christopher Nolan's done or any of the multiverse shit, it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Fucking WandaVision was good. Like,
right. People don't even
Anything
think of the Batman
like that
movies
is
to
like-
be like a Superman. I mean, like a superhero movie.
mhm.
So just to end this on one last little topic wapic. It's been a while since I threw the W out. Joey loves it. It's Joey's favorite wavorite. Favy wavy.
Cut it. Cut the show.
No, I was gonna say, Dylan and I hung out a little bit this weekend. We got to catch a bit of it, but this weekend was kind of fun for basketball. There was some pretty fun/funny stuff that happened over the past 3 days.
Yeah.
So I just thought it'd be cool to go over some of the NBA All-Star Weekend highlights, because there were quite a bit.
I mean, just in general, I mean, the All-Star game is always really stupid.
I mean, let's start right with celebrity game. Right?
Okay.
Who were some of the celebrities that we had on the floor?
I don't remember seeing a lot of them. I'm not sure everyone played, but
we had the Miz from WWE.
We had 21 Savage,
Albert Pujols, right?
Albert Pujols, yes. We had
Savage.
DK Metcalf on the Seahawks.
That guy's humongous.
Guillermo from the Jimmy Kimmel live show.
He ordered a pizza in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and then he tried to give it to Shaq, and Shaq was like, "I don't want it."
Yeah. Someone was like, "Yeah, gotta be Domino's. It gotta be Domino's. You got an ad deal."
There was a 4-point line.
Yeah.
There was a button that you.
There was a lot of musicians too. There was like 8 musicians.
Simu Liu was in it. Shang-Chi. Fun fact: that was actually like a bit of controversy that I saw on Twitter, because you know when stadiums do that like actor lookalike thing. They did one at the All-Star game where it was like Simu Liu.
Yeah, it was some like random.
And then it was just like a chubby Asian dude with glasses.
Yeah.
And Simu Liu posted it and it was like, this isn't cool. And he's basically like, I just want to, and I love Simu Liu because he's really understandable. He's like, I had a great time this weekend. Everybody was super nice to me. So this isn't me commentating on the whole weekend, but I just thought this is some guy with a camera who thought it was like a joke or whatever. But
I have the list of people if I can name them. Kane Brown, 5-time music award winning country artist.
Don't know them.
Calvin Johnson, former wide receiver,
who was dunking.
Corday, the rapper.
Yeah.
Who else? The Miz, Albert Pujols.
A lot of WNBA players.
Ozuna, the Puerto Rican singer.
Another one too.
Nicky Jam.
Nicky Jam. That was hilarious. When they'd be like, Ozuna to Nicky Jam.
Airballs it. Fucking
the Miz for the buzzer beater.
What's this guy? Hassan Minaj.
Yeah.
It's a Janelle Monáe. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Let's play some basketball. Yeah, I feel like they ask more people and a lot of people decline it. They're like, I'm not getting fucking injured.
Right.
The 3-point contest was fun. We got to see that. The actual All-Star game was pretty cool. I saw some of that yesterday. If I'm being honest, the actual game itself was a little boring.
No one.
Like the best way I could describe it is the All-Star game is kind of like pro wrestling. It's kind of just like they're like defend him, and then you watch fucking like I don't know like Nikola Jokic, and he's just kind of like. And then some guy dunks and he's like, oh, you know what I mean?
It's like you're 7'1". I know you could have done something.
Don't get me wrong. Part of it is definitely that you want them to score big because like it's like a spectacle, and another part of it is that you don't want to get injured during the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Like LeBron like hurt his pinky or something like that. But like at the same time, there's like a point where it just looks stupid.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like they need to go more in of a direction, and I feel like they're finally going in more of the silly direction because there's all these games. You know, it's like how they did it this year. They did it per quarter, so like who wins the quarter.
Yeah,
and that's interesting new. And instead of having a time in the fourth quarter, it's whoever reaches a score.
24 points plus the score. After
yes,
the third.
But I know like some people were getting upset about it. Like I was watching a clip of Jaylen Brown, and he was like, "Yeah, this game kind of was like." He was basically like, "Yeah, this kind of sucked."
Yeah, well,
he's like, no one's playing, and I kind of wanted to like actually play.
But, and honestly, he was the one with all the cool. You know, the ones with the highlights. Weirdly enough, were Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who were on opposite teams, and
but on the same team. Yeah.
But whenever they squared off against each other, they actually like played, and it was hype.
Yeah.
But I think he was kind of upset about that because Jaylen Brown, he broke like the All-Star game like record.
Tatum,
he got the Kobe award, and people were like, all right.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
He's doing like his little
Kobe
thing.
That's the thing, though, is that if it's going to be that way, they need to go more in the silly direction because it is kind of silly looking.
They have to sell it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they need to do more like Globetrotter shit. I feel.
I was gonna say it felt like I was watching a Globetrotter.
They started doing it. I saw they were doing like these cool, intricate passing plays.
Yeah.
Morant literally did like a 360 from the free throw line. I was like, they need to do more stuff like that.
Yeah. Or that's cool. Just like literally, like you said, put it in the rule set. Like only points will count if they're flashy. Or
Yeah, exactly. And
some
of them
are like being flashy.
Damian Lillard literally just did a half court shot. He literally midway through the game.
I saw that.
He was just like, whatever, no big deal. But everyone got hype over my boy Matt McClung.
I was gonna leave the best for last, man. I was gonna leave the best for last.
Wait, before you mention that, I saw this guy's Shy. What's his on the Thunder?
The buff.
Shy Gilgeous.
Oh, Alexander.
Yeah, he was getting mad because no one was playing defense, and then he goes up for a dunk, and LeBron swats him because he He's like, I don't know why LeBron did that.
Yeah, man, funny. LeBron for like 3 minutes just started going crazy. Everyone was like, oh.
But yeah, shout outs to Mac McClung.
Yeah.
One of 4 participants in the slam dunk contest, the only one of which who actually isn't even in the NBA, technically speaking. He's a G League player.
He was signed to a 2-way contract for 2 weeks
by the 76ers.
so that he could have an NBA jersey.
Yeah. And he won.
Yes.
And he
wasn't even close.
And it wasn't close. This kid is a fucking legend.
He actually went viral because like in high school he used to do like he could dunk in high school. So like they would just do like tricks of him like throwing him the ball. Can you dunk from this angle, that angle?
Fun fact: you know how much money Mac McClung won for the slam dunk contest? He won $100,000.
Good for him.
You know how much money Mac McClung has won in his entire career as a G League basketball player? $102,000.
Yeah.
He made just about his entire career earnings in one night at the fucking dunk contest.
Yep.
Nice.
Somebody sign my boy, man. Just let him play. Just put him on the bench. Just have him.
Yeah. I mean, literally, the fact that like
for a year.
I was watching a video of all of the there's all of these like great NBA players back in the day. You're like, where are they? They're either in the G League or they're overseas, just popping off. Taco Fall is in China right now.
Is he banned from the NBA?
No, he's not.
Okay,
he's not.
I saw a YouTube thumbnail and I was
There's
but I know he's a
Dwight Howard is like half banned.
Yeah.
He's just like no one will sign him. They're like, oh, you're a problem or whatever.
Stephon Marbury might as well be the fucking president of China.
But literally, I was looking and Taco Fall has, I want to say, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 6 blocks a game. He's like going crazy. I'm like, yeah,
you're telling me they actually let him play basketball?
He plays the whole game. He sits in the middle and like Asian dudes are just like,
this guy is 7'7".
Yeah.
This guy he would never fit in this basement.
Yeah. He was, I would say he would play on the Celtics for 3 minutes a night. But those 3 minutes, his field goal percentage was 83%, I think, one year.
We got to see him when he was on the Cavs.
Yeah, word. How do you miss a
I remember my mom
just drop it in.
Yeah,
I was thinking of like the cartoon moments in basketball where they're just like
word.
Yeah.
Like
he could do that. Well, it is time for jam and yam of the week.
It is.
It's just hitting me now that I haven't really listened to anything.
Damn.
I haven't been listening.
I think am I the weird one? I just like listen to music all day.
I don't know.
You're pretty weird.
I went through my
Dylan.
Discover Weekly for
I have
the
it just
first
on in the
time in a
background
long
all
time,
day, bro.
and I put a lot of minuses. I was like, wow.
Alright, look, I'll just get mine out of the way because I have it. My jam of the week is going to go to SCAT Pack, which is by All But Six, who I think is a record company. I think it's like a record label. And it's the label that has like Fat Nick, Boobie, Lootaveli, Kill Switch. So the whole song is featured by all those artists. Fat Nick, Puya, Boobie, Lootaveli.
That's cool. So it's almost like a collective.
Exactly. So All But Six Scat Pack. That's gonna be mine.
That's nice.
Oh, real quick, that was the band the group that I posted on Instagram is touring, and their special guests are Tara Reid and Ramirez. So I was like, damn, that's a fucking.
That's just that's like don't show up at the beginning, you'll run out of energy. My yam of the week is Forget with the number 4. By Delto. It's a hyperpop song produced by an EDM artist, so obviously match made in heaven.
It's good.
Yeah. Mad nice beat. There's like a vocal sample that's just like in the background, but it's like mad nice. Great song.
Fire.
Yeah.
I haven't been listening to a lot of music, but my sister brought up, she was like, hey, remember that game we used to play like 2 years ago called No Straight Roads?
Oh, I remember.
It was a game that I tried. You guys should get into it, but you guys weren't vibing with it. But it's a music-based game, and they you play as these rockers that want to get their music recognized, but their music is shunned by EDM. So one of the bosses is like a robot Korean K-pop band. And you like battle against them, and when you're winning, there's a rock version of their K-pop song, and it's actually pretty dope. Just type in No Straight Roads versus 1010 rock version.
Cool.
My song of the week is it was on my Discover Weekly actually. It's called Sputnik by Teddy Andreas and Freddie Gibbs.
Sputnik.
Yeah.
Who's Freddie Gibbs? I've never heard that name in my life.
Fun facts.
Joe
Getty
Rogan
Fizz.
Legends. You know what? You saw that clip? That clip's going viral right now. Where he on Joe Rogan, Freddie Gibbs was like, yeah, I shot him like 10 times or whatever. It's like,
it was like right in the beginning too.
Freddie Gibbs is fucking been through some shit, man.
Yeah.
He survived a drive-by, man.
He got beat up in a restaurant.
Thank you for watching the Joystick Show. Unless you're Freddie Gibbs, you probably didn't enjoy that last chat.
No.
We hope you enjoyed episode 120. 9 of the Joystick Show.
Nice.
And we were very happy to talk about stuff. I don't know about you guys, but we're filming this on a Monday, which is weird.
We're filming this. We're filming this on President's Day.
Yeah, like the podcast comes out in 2 days, so like it feels weird to have all this fucking shit I want to talk about bottled up till the very end. But now I have unleashed it, and now I can go through another week of trying to get through some shit before we go to DR and
living life,
a prompt vacation,
living life, collecting memories, sharing it here.
Yeah.
But until then, make sure you like this episode of the Joystick Show. Make sure you subscribe to Team Joystick. Helps us go a long way. And thanks for hanging out with us. You guys are cute.
Pretty hot.
And does anybody else have anything to say?
Yeah, I do. Fuck George Washington. Fuck John Adams. Fuck Thomas Jefferson.
You know what's cool though? FDR.
FDR.
No.
Fuck Delano Roosevelt.